I'm finally getting an opportunity to sit down and talk. It has been a busy few days. So I am here celebrating my birthday weekend. I decided to go to St. Augustine, Florida, and it's been pretty busy thus far. I'm going to insert some pictures and stuff, but on Friday we came down. So this is my Airbnb. Got a living room area there. Bedroom's there. We won't go in there. The husband's there. There's the bathroom, real small. And then here's a nice big kitchen. But let me show you the best part. As you come out back here, got a little outdoor shower. And bam, look at that. You come upon a pool. And a little bar, but we're not popping bottles today. St. Augustine, Florida is known for a lot of history. It's touted as the oldest continuously inhabited city in America, and that's where we start. So, under the Spanish flag in 1513, Ponce de Leon, one Ponce de Leon, discovered Florida. Now, his ship was called La Florida, so hence that's the name where Florida got his name from, right? And then St. Augustine is named after, I think his name is Juan Menendez, and that was in 1565 when he was able to conquer it from somebody, I forgot. So that's kind of a little brief history. Now, I will say when Ponce de Leon was looking for his fountain of youth, he never found that, but apparently it's fountain of youth, something about the minerals in the water, which they allowed you to taste at this little park that I went to. It didn't taste good. And we went to Ponce de Leon fountain of youth type thing, okay? It had like tons of peacocks, which was really awesome. I found out that a peacock is actually a male, a peahen is a female, and they're really called peafowl as a whole, okay? And it's called a muster when they're all together. Very interesting. Apparently, peacocks, the males, are the ones with the bright foliage or plumage, and they have the long tails. And the females are kind of duller color, so, and smaller tail and all. But pretty interesting. I enjoyed it. Had a planetarium. There was cannon exhibits. There was also a firing of a rifle. So very much enjoyed that. Got to walk around. It was pretty cool. Then on Saturday, which was yesterday, today's Sunday, we went to a fort. It was Castillos de Marcos. It was pretty fun and got to walk around and do a little tour, and they fired a gun too. Then we went to a wax museum, Potter's Wax Museum. Tons of wax figures. Think Madame Tussauds. That was where the idea came from. But Madame Tussauds is French, and this one is American, right? That's where you got the idea from. And then after that, we went to a medieval torture museum, which was very interesting, very gory, lots of crazy things that people enjoyed to do in the Middle Ages, okay, which extended into like the 1500s too. So just a lot of torture, still a bit traumatized, I do believe. Today is Sunday. What did we do today? Today we went to a lighthouse, Anastasia Island. It's closer to the beaches. There's some beaches near here. So we went to a lighthouse and a maritime museum, saw tons of interesting things there, a lot of history, things about boats, got some really cool views, and walked up 219 steps. That was a feat, I will tell you that, but enjoyed that. And then we went to the beach and we left. We just wanted to kind of see it because I stayed closer to a beach on the western side, and this was the coast side. But then it started raining, so the beach is off limits, I guess, now. But I did go to a historic place called St. Mose Historic Park, which is a state park that is dedicated to the Mose community, which is like the first free African settlement in the United States. So apparently So apparently back in the day, the Carolinas were owned by the British, and Florida, of course, was under Spanish rule, right? Florida didn't get annexed into the United States until like the 1800s. So when you think of the Constitution, don't think of Florida as being part of it. But so apparently Florida wanted to increase Catholicism. It also wanted to utilize a lot of the skills that Africans brought over, and that knowledge. And also they wanted to increase their numbers, to increase their, stronghold over, these areas compared to the British. So they encouraged enslaved individuals to travel on down to Florida and offer them their freedom in exchange for like converting to Catholicism and being, members of society and all. And so you had a lot of people that trickled on down and helped to create this free settlement of blacks. So very, very interesting history. I learned a lot of stuff they do not teach you in school. I tell you that. I also learned that slavery for the British was different than slavery for the Spanish. So for the British, slavery was, harsh. I am going to work for free. I'm not going to pay you anything. You're under my whim. I tell you who to mate with, all of that stuff, right? Apparently for the Spanish, slavery was more of, hey, you're going to work for me. I'm going to pay you a living wage. You get to live with your family. I think it was a little bit more humane. Now, of course, all those details, intricacies in there, I'm not sure of. But at this museum, there was a lot of really good stories of people that spoke about how, yes, they were both slaves in both the British and with the Spanish, but they had a lot more freedoms with the Spanish and were treated more like a human being. So take that for what you will, but very good history lessons. One thing I did note though is that when I went to this Fort Mose commemorating African history, there was a whole lot less people. I think it's less palatable than this other history on down the road that they're making a lot of money from. Anyway, so that is my vacation thus far. It's been raining pretty much most of the time that I've been here, so have not had a chance to use the pool, and we leave tomorrow, so we'll see what happens. I will say though, I did finish this book here, Cinderella is Dead. I did start it before I left though, so I finished it early on. So I've been enjoying my trip. But Cinderella is Dead is by Kaylnn, Bayron. It is a YA novel, kind of like an extension of the Cinderella fairy tale. So you have these girls that basically are paraded around by the king at this ball, if you will, right? And they're told that, hey, Cinderella's story is what you should strive for, okay? You should go to this ball. Your family needs to sacrifice, make you beautiful, okay? And you come here and you are going to be chosen. Someone's going to choose you to be their wives. Doesn't matter that they may beat you. Doesn't matter that they may make up excuses to get you beheaded so they can choose another wife, blah, 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 blah. So you have this girl that is dreading this ball because she does not want to be chosen. And you only have 3 times to go to this ball, mind you. You don't get chosen after 3 times, and the king can do whatever he wants with you, okay? And that means a life of servitude and being an old maid. And who wants that at the age of 18, right? So you have this girl, her name is Sophia. She likes her best friend, Aaron, and so Aaron's a girl. So she definitely is not trying to go to this ball. And Aaron wants to be dutiful to her family and does not want to disappoint them, so she wants to go to the ball. So they go because what other choices do you have? And things just don't go right. Things do not go right, and Sophia becomes destitute and runs away and hooks up with a let's call it the descendant from the Cinderella story, and finds out that this Cinderella story definitely has some untruths in it, okay? And so while she's picking that apart and trying to find, who is this fairy godmother and how can we stop this king, it's some crazy stuff that happens. There's a lot of twists, there's a lot of turns, a lot of things I did not see coming. You definitely have a really good LGBTQ representation in here, and you see people trying to live by their own rules and just be happy, okay? And why can't they do that? You do see some magic in here as well. It's a good time, and I like that you have black and brown characters too, so that's always fun. But Cinderella is Dead has taken me a long time to read this book. Don't know why. It's been pretty good. So I want to thank, I believe it's Keita that said this was one of her favorite books from Boot Camp Readathon. So I decided to pick it up. So let me know if you have read that or if you have been to St. Augustine, okay? So I'm going, I don't know, probably eat some dinner and see what happens. If something else comes up, I'll come back. If not, I'll see y'all later, okay? Like, subscribe, and comment. Bye-bye.